Good morning, Gallatin County friends. We are on day 34, and today I come to you with part 2 of the book that I read yesterday, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, where Alexander said he was going to move to Australia because bad things kept happening to him because he made poor decisions. And one thing happened, so something else happened, and then something else happened. We call that a chain of reaction or chain of events and cause and effect. And so today I have part 2. Alexander, who's not, do you hear me? I mean it, going to move. So today's book by Judith Voist is about Alexander and his family, and they are going to be moving away. So if you've ever moved schools or had to change your friends or make new friends in a new school or leave your friends behind, then you're going to understand how Alexander feels in our book today. It's going to be the same habits because I'm going to tell you that Alexander's not going to be very cooperative. So just like yesterday, habit 1, habit 3, habit 4, habit 5, and habit 7. So let's dive right in. They can't make me pack my baseball mitt or my I Love Dinosaur sweatshirt or my cowboy boots. They can't make me pack my ice skates, my jeans with 8 zippers, my compass, my radio, or my stuffed pig. My dad is packing. My mom is packing. My brothers Nick and Anthony are packing. I'm not packing. I'm not going to move. We call this stubborn. My dad says we have to move to where his new job is. That job is 1,000 miles away. My mom says we have to move to where our new house is. That house is 1,000 miles away. Right next door to the new house, there's a boy who is Anthony's age. Down the street, there's a boy the same age as Nick. There's no one next door or down the street, or maybe even for 1,000 miles, who is my age. I'm not, do you hear me? I mean it, going to move. So already he's got it made up in his mind that it's going to be a bad experience. So since he's not looking at it in a good way, bad things are probably going to happen. I'll never have a best friend like Paul again. I'll never have a great sitter like Rachel again. I'll never have my soccer team or my carpool again. I'll never have kids who know me except my brothers, and sometimes they don't want to know me. I'm not packing. I'm not going to move. Nick says I'm a fool and should get a brain transplant. Anthony says I'm being immature. My mom and dad say that after a while I'll get used to living 1,000 miles from everything. Never. Not ever. No way. And oh. Do you think it's really 1,000 miles? I was thinking about this. I bet it's not. I bet that's just something he's saying to make it worse than what it is. Maybe I could stay here and live with the Baldwins. They have a dog. I've always wanted a dog. I could maybe stay here and live with the Rooneys. They have 6 girls. They always wanted a boy. I maybe could stay here and live with Mr. and Mrs. Oberdorfer. They always give out great treats on Halloween. I maybe could stay here and live by myself in maybe a treehouse or maybe a tent or maybe a cave. How do you think that would work out for him? You think he'd be okay living by himself in a treehouse? No stove, no heat, no air conditioning, no running water, no place to take a bath. Who would cook for him? Where would he get his food? Who would wash his clothes? Nick says I could live in the zoo with all the other animals. Anthony says I'm being immature. My dad says I should take a last look at all my special places. I'm taking a look, but it will not be my last. I looked at the Rooney's roof, which I once climbed out on, but then I couldn't climb back in until the fire department came and helped me. I also looked at Pearson's drugstore, where they once said my mom had to pay $80 when I threw a ball in the air that I almost caught. You see, he broke the window. That's why Mom had to pay $80. I looked at the lot next to Albert's house where I once and for all learned to tell which was poison ivy. I looked at my school where even Mrs. Knoop, the teacher I once spilled the goldfish bowl on, said she'd miss me. I looked at my special places where a lot of different things happen, not just different bad, but different good, like winning that sack race, like finding that flashlight, like spitting further than Jack 3 times in a row. So he's remembering all these places and all these memories that he has. Like selling so much lemonade that my dad said I would probably have to pay taxes. My dad was just making jokes about paying taxes. I wish he was just making jokes about having to move. I'm not. Do you hear me? I mean, I'm not going to move. Nick says I am acting like a puke face. Anthony says I'm being immature. My mom says to say a last goodbye to all my special people. I'm saying goodbye, but it won't be my last. His brothers are not being very nice to him either. They're not doing a very good job using habit 5 and trying to understand each other's feelings. I said goodbye to my friends, especially Paul, who is almost like having another brother, except he doesn't say puke face or immature. I said goodbye to my neighbors, especially Swoozie, who is almost like having a dog, except she's the Baldwin's dog instead of mine. I said goodbye to Rachel, who taught me to stand on my head and whistle with 2 fingers, but she says don't try to do both at the same time. I said goodbye to Seymour the cleaners, who, even if it's gum wrappers or an old tooth, always saves me the stuff that I leave in my pockets. I said a lot of goodbyes to a lot of people and got a lot of hugs and kisses, enough hugs and kisses to last for a person's whole life. I said a lot of goodbyes, except I'm staying right here. I'm not going to move. When the movers come to put my bedroom furniture on their truck, maybe I'll barricade my bedroom door shut. When my dad wants to tie my bicycle to the roof rack on top of the station wagon, maybe I'll lock up my bike and bury the key. When my mom says finish packing up, it's time for us to get going, maybe she'll look around and she won't see me. I know places to hide where they'd never find me. Like behind the racks of clothes at Seymour the cleaners, like underneath the piano at Eddie's basement, like inside the pickle barrel at Friendly's Market. Or maybe I could hide in the wheels in the lot next to Albert's house. Now that I know how to tell which is poison ivy. I'd rather have poison ivy, actually, than have to move. My dad says it might take a while, but I'll find a new soccer team. He says it might take a while, but I'll find boys my age. He also says that sometimes when a person moves away, his brother might need to let him get a dog to be his best friend till he makes some special friends. I think Swoozie, too, would be a good name. My mom says it might take a while, but we'll find a great sitter. She says it might take a while, but we'll find a cleaners who even saves gum wrappers and old teeth. She also says that sometimes when a person moves away, his mother might let him call his best friend long distance. I already know the telephone number by heart. Paul gave me a baseball cap. Rachel gave me a backpack that glows in the dark. Mr. and Mrs. Oberdorfer gave us treats to eat for 1,000 miles. Nick says if I'm lonesome in my new room all by myself, he might let me sleep with him for a little while. Anthony says that Nick is being mature. So do you notice that the entire family has finally figured out how Alexander is feeling, and they're trying to fix the problem and give him solutions to his problem, which would be habit 7 when you're trying to make someone feel better. My dad is packing, my mom is packing, my brothers Nick and Anthony are packing. I don't like it, but I'm packing too. They better not try to move anymore when we get where we're going. So now he's beginning to change his mind just a little bit. Because this is the last time that I'm going to do it. The next time they won't make me do it. Never. Not ever. No way. And oh. I'm not, do you hear me? I mean it. Going to move. So in the end, his family ended up using habit 5 and habit 7 together to make Alexander feel a little bit better. And Alexander, once he started feeling a little better, began to change the way that he was reacting to the move. So again, you did see habits 1, habit 3, habit 4. Habit 3 is put first things first, so he ended up packing. Habit 4, think win-win. His brothers and everybody was trying to come up with solutions where everybody was happy. Habit 5, because they were listening to each other. And then habit 7, because they were trying to make Alexander feel better. And in the end, he did. So, guys, that was a wonderful book, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!